Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, whew, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Out there in the Rod Eccles land. Actually, this is my planet. I'm claiming this is my planet, the freedom planet of the entire universe right here. Hey, welcome back from a very long and well-deserved break. And I'm saying you guys deserved the break from me, because I know I was pounding pretty hard towards the end of the year. And you know what? That ain't going to stop. I know there are some people out there that are just kind of hoping that, Rod will just kind of go away, right? He's not going to be around for much longer. Let me tell you something. I just came back from South Carolina, Hilton Head. My first time down in Hilton Head. Beautiful island, by the way. Yeah, and you know what? For a Yankee New Englander Northerner going down to the south of the Mason-Dixon in basically January, they were saying it was kind of cold, that they were sorry that it was cold, but it was like 50 degrees out there, down there. And I was loving it because, looking back here at the weather in New England, it was hitting single digits. So I had a few days down in South Carolina where it was just lovely weather. It was sunny, lovely. But, I'm going to tell you something. Now, they have a newspaper down on Hilton Head Island. I got the skinny from the people down there. I guess it's kind of a little bit of liberal-leaning type of public, just like every other, just about every other lamestream media news publication out there in the country today. The Island Packet, they wrote up a wonderful piece on one of the speeches that I gave, luncheon, and I had a wonderful time down there with all the people down there. The Southern people, Southern hospitality is absolutely fantastic. Those people are wonderful. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. You people, I didn't run into any racism when I was there. Not among the group of people that I was with. Even though I said, I gave them my moniker, I'm the coolest, most politically incorrect conservative black man on the planet, and of course they all chuckled at that. I don't think any of them saw me as a black man. what they were telling me, and they weren't telling me, well, it's good to see that a black guy is a conservative and getting out. No, what they were telling me is, we love your message. We hope that more people hear it. There was no color involved in that. Now, of course, because conservatives are conservatives, I was not surprised by that, to be frank. Now, of course, you'd hear that kind of stuff coming from Democrats, but I was not surprised not to hear the skin color game being played amongst Republicans down there. And look, the luncheon, the first speech that I gave at around lunchtime, around noon, those were all older folks, senior citizens, retired people. So if anybody was going to be play the old race card, you would think it would be the older segment, because that's what we're always told. The older people in this country are more racist than the younger people. Isn't that what we're told? That's what that's what we're led to believe in the media. And I didn't find it, didn't see it, didn't feel it, didn't hear it. It was a wonderful time. I had a great time down there. I hope to go back again sometime soon and probably stay a little bit longer because, like I said, Hilton Head was gorgeous. And no, it's not Atlanta, Georgia, but it's in that neck of the woods on the coast. It was absolutely beautiful. But a gentleman that pretty much hosted me for a good part of the day, his name is Tom, a.k.a. Tommy. Now, he doesn't particularly like the name. Well, as he puts it, his wife doesn't particularly like the name Tommy. He grew up being called Tommy because, as he explains it, his father's name was Tom, so he was Tommy. And people still call him Tommy, although his wife never really liked Tommy. She always called him Tom, and even to this day, people call him Tommy. Now, you think of Tommy as being a younger kid, a young man. The man is 82 years old. And he took me to the Hilton Head Airport when I was on my way to leave. He picked me up in a minivan from the airport Sunday evening. I didn't realize he was 82. He didn't move around like he was 82. He moved around like he was a lot younger than that. Guy's got a lot of energy. Let me tell you, he is full of energy. But he picked me up at my hotel and took me to the airport on Tuesday morning for my departure flight in a Boxster. Yes, a Porsche Boxster. Here's an 82-year-old man racing down one of the Hilton Head roadways at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting in the passenger seat in a Boxster. I was sitting in the lobby when he came to pick me up, and he came into the lobby and he said, "Are you ready to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I checked out of the hotel, settled my accounts, if you will, with the hotel staff, the innkeep, and then as I exited the door, I was looking for his minivan, and there in front of me is this black, fairly new Porsche Boxster. And I'm thinking, this guy did not just pick me up in a Porsche. And he goes to the trunk. He says, "Yeah, you're going to have to put your bag in the trunk because there's obviously no room in the cabin." When you talk about a two-seater, that's what a Porsche is really a two. There's no room for anything else, just two bodies, and that's it. So he opened the trunk, and it was his car. If you want to talk about senior citizens today breaking the mold of what a senior citizen is supposed to be like, let me tell you, these people down in the Carolinas, and when I was down, what was it, September, when I was in North Carolina, I'm telling you, these senior citizens down south, man, they are busting wide open this whole notion of what it is to be an elderly person in this country, because they're not sitting still. And now there's an 82-year-old man in Hilton Head who can handle that car pretty darn well, I might add, down there racing around in a Porsche Boxster, a Boxer, and beautiful car, beautiful car. I mean, I had a wonderful time. I met another young man at the second event that I spoke at, and his name was Kent, and he's a newlywed, and he's also, after speaking, he's a Marine officer, and evidently he was born in Iowa, but now living in Hilton Head, South Carolina. And I met Kent and his bride. I guess they're newlyweds, recently married. Now, first of all, I was struck by this young. He couldn't have been no more than 30, maybe between 30 and 35, but he was a multiracial young man. And, his wife was white. As he explained it, I had to ask him his ethnicity because, he had such striking looks and such piercing blue eyes. I mean, they were incredible. I don't think I've ever seen blue eyes quite the way his were. And when I asked his wife, I said, that his eyes must have got you. And she goes, oh, yeah, aren't they gorgeous? They're so piercing, man. It like hypnotized me. But she was a beautiful girl, too. But talking with him, and I asked him, what his ethnicity was. And it turns out that, yeah, he's African-American. He's white. And he mentioned Blackfeet, I do believe, was Native American. So I said, hey, Native American brother, right here too, Cherokee and Osage. And he knew exactly who the Osage were. A lot of people don't know who the Osage tribe is, but he knew who they were. Osage is near, reservation is in a state that nears his home state. So I guess that explains why he would know who they were. But in any case, here we have a brand new year. And we're starting off right now. I had the newspaper article in, if you go to rodeccles.net, you could get a link to, I guess there's video too. There's some video. You can get a link to islandpacket.com to read the article and view the video. I got some positive press. I'm kind of surprised. And I know some people were kind of taken aback about what I said down there. And I know I'm reading this thing. Look, I don't know. Maybe they think I'm some sort of celebrity, but they were down there and they made sure I got a copy before because it came out that that morning, I guess, morning paper. They made sure I got I didn't know. I had no clue. But they made sure I got a copy of the article. And one of the things I noticed is, as I was sitting in the hotel that morning getting breakfast, you have the free breakfast, if you will, in the morning. It was a Ramada Inn. It's a nice hotel, by the way. Ramada Inn, Hilton Head. It was a very nice hotel, run by Indians from India. I do, and I swear the person that she must be one of the owners or part owner or something, because I don't care what time of day I went into the lobby, she was there. And I'm not joking. I mean, you go down for breakfast at 8 in the morning, she's there. I checked in at like 10 o'clock that night, she was there. Hardworking people. So I'm going to assume that she's one of the, not the general manager, but she could have been, but I'm going to assume that she was probably one of the owners of the hotel, Ramada Inn, of the franchise there. But as I was getting my breakfast that last morning, before Tommy came to pick me up to take me to the airport, there were obviously other people in the room, in the breakfast lounge area. And some of them had the newspaper. And they kept looking at me. Now, this is before I knew that I was made the newspaper. I had no idea what they were doing or why they were, no big deal, I didn't think. But they kept looking at me. But I went about my business, and when Tommy showed me the newspaper article after we got into his Porsche, then I kind of put two and two together because it was the same newspaper that they were reading at the breakfast table. And the funny thing is that I got on the airplane, and this woman seated in front of me. Now this is going from Hilton Head to Charlotte, the connecting flight. Woman in front of me has got the Island Packet newspaper. She's reading it. Now, the story is actually on page 3 and 4 of the Island Packet. And again, I'm not thinking anything of it until she gets to page 3, and there's my mug, a picture of me, sitting out there, and, she's reading. Now, she hasn't seen me, obviously, or paid attention, but there was a person that was sitting next to her. And I'm on the aisle. She's on the aisle seat, so I can see the newspaper. Next thing I know, the guy sitting next to her starts peeking up over his seat, looking back. All I did was smile. But he did like a triple take. So, look, that's the first time that something like that has ever happened. It's kind of a little discombobulating to have your reputation precede you or be thrown out there for other people to notice, I guess. I guess this is what other celebrities go through. I'm not a celebrity, but I guess I can kind of understand it. But let me tell you something about being a celebrity in this genre. Now, on the way back at the Hilton Head Airport, and I've relayed before my problem that I had with TSA coming back into the country from Iceland. And something popped up its ugly head again with the TSA. Now, I'm going through the screening, the small airport, tiny airport. And the TSA people there, I mean, they're overly serious if you ask me, but I don't know. There's like 15 TSA agents running around, checking everybody's luggage and everything like that. But so you put all your shoes and everything, your computer and your laptop, and you push it through the screener. And I walk through. All of a sudden, there's this red light ding. And he says, "Hold here, please." And so I'm looking at it. He says, "Nothing you did. I just have to check your laptop for further screening." I'm like, check my laptop for further screening? I don't know what he does, but he takes the bucket with my laptop, goes behind the TSA counter or whatever, plugs it into something, and about 30 seconds later, he comes back and says, "I'm sorry, we had to do that." Sorry you had to do... What is this? Look, folks, I'm not one who's paranoid, but you start putting two and two together. You get flagged coming back into your own country for no particular reason other than somebody decided to change a birth date, month. And all of a sudden, at a tiny airport, now you flying, down to Charlotte and over to Hilton Head, no problems. You fly through all that, not an issue. You're trying to go back home, tiny airport. Now all of a sudden, there's an issue. After you've given a speech or two, and you start putting two and two together. What am I starting to be flagged by the Obama administration now because I'm tagging them all the time? Well, let me tell you something. I am not going to be intimidated by anybody. Now, I'm not trying to be paranoid, but if this keeps happening, and I'm going to pay attention to it and pay attention for it, then I know that there'll be something is up, and I will take action to stop it. Because the proper people that they should be vetting that way, they're not. They're not vetting these people because we're getting them coming into the country, And they're killing people out in California. And yet American talk show hosts who have absolutely love their country are being targeted for harassment by the TSA and by the federal government. Well, I'm not down with that. I'm not going to accept it. And I know some people, and some people say, well, Rod, you got to accept, no, you don't. You see, one thing I want to make abundantly clear to people is that you are the government. The government doesn't own you. You're not a slave to the federal government of the United States of America. You own the government. The government works for us, the citizen. No, our government does not work for the rest of the entire world. It doesn't work for every single 7.5 billion people on this planet. It works for 320 million people within the United States of America. That's it. The Constitution and the constitutional rights are not extended to those people who are not citizens. Not citizens. Sorry, I'm not gonna back off from that. If you're not a citizen, you don't have the same rights as a citizen of this country. And I just look, going to France, I don't expect to have the same rights as a French national or a French citizen. I'm not saying that you have to be barbaric towards foreigners. Absolutely not. But they're not afforded. Well, we've gone over this I don't know how many times before, and I will keep going over it until our wonderful government and the American people get that through their thick heads. Because there's no way that I'm going to allow people who do not belong in this country to be given a pass to stay here, while the rest of us not only have to pay for them financially, but have to go through the extra process of being scrutinized. Homegrown terrorism? Sure, there's some of that. But being a domestic terrorist, are you kidding me? When the vast majority of terrorist acts that have taken place in this country, well, until they redefine terrorism, the vast majority of terrorist acts that have taken place inside the borders of the United States of America have been done by foreigners, not American citizens. And frankly, foreigners still have American citizens beat on the body count. Do they not? So this whole notion that we're supposed to... look, I'm going to get into all this. We got 3 hours today now, which is absolutely wonderful. So I'll have time to explore this a little bit more with you. So we got 3 hours. The first new program of the new year here on the Rod Eccles Show. 3 full, wonderful hours. So sit back. If you are sitting in your office, and I'm directing this especially towards Kent down in South Carolina, if you're listening, my friend, turn it up. He works in a bank, by the way. So South Carolina is a very conservative state, so it's probably not going to be anything what I say here is probably not going to be too shocking down in South Carolina. But I still say you should just turn it up. Turn up the volume, have some fun, relax, make this your new morning routine. Somebody said, yeah, it's a great way to spend your entire day, because now you got me. Then, of course, most of you will probably tune in to Rush and then Sean Hannity. And so your entire day is full with some great stuff from some great people. And when we come back from the break, we're going to really hit this hard. I'm going to bring the rain, folks. Bring it hard.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSInstitute.com.
Stuck in a boring, low-paid job? By 2017, there will be a shortage of 2 million cybersecurity jobs worldwide. If you have a technical background but don't have a computer certification, you are being drastically underpaid. In months, you could be qualified for a new job in information technology, making real money with real job security. A new career is just a few clicks away at thecodeoflearning.com.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
So if you're a liberal, you better have a bulletproof umbrella because you're gonna get soaking wet. That's right. I am the coolest, most politically incorrect conservative black man on the planet, and I am logic that has been birthed into reality. I am the life of logic, and logic is truth, and I am bringing you nothing but the truth. Now, what is going on out there, out in Oregon? I don't fully look. I heard about this, and well, as everybody else did, and I'm looking at this thinking, what in the devil is going on out there in Oregon? Why would you take over a government refuge because you're mad at the government for taking your father's land? I know it's Cliven Bundy and his family. I understand what's been going on with the Bundys, and the federal government is acting like a bunch of thugs, crooks, and mafiosos. I fully understand that. And that they really need to be stopped from doing this kind of stuff. But the states have to step. Look, you governors out there, you have got to stand up against the federal government and say enough. You don't have the right to come into our state and push the citizens of this state around like this. It's just not going to happen. I don't care where you're from. If you're from the ATF, FBI, or IRS, it doesn't matter what your three-letter acronym is. You work for the people of my state. If I'm the governor, I'm saying you work for the people of my state. You will treat my people of this state with respect. You don't get to push people around. You're not going to push them so far that they are going to take action in this manner. Now, with that said, I have no idea what the hell they think they're doing. What do they think they're going to accomplish? I don't know what their goal is. Now, understand, unless you get the state stepping in to protect its own citizenry, do they not understand that the federal government has no qualms about killing them and their families and children? They've done it before. Democrats especially. What have been some of the worst domestic government atrocities on citizens? They were performed by, over the last 25 years or so, half century, been performed by Democratic administrations. What do we got in office now? Probably one of the biggest socialistic Democratic hacks to ever occupy the office. He doesn't give a damn about the people of this country. So he's sure as hell not going to give a damn about the people taking over that refuge in Oregon. So again, I have to ask, what is their goal? What is their goal? I don't know what their goal is. Maybe I missed it. I haven't done extensive research on what they're doing out there, but you would think it would at least be, pretty evident about what their goal is, and I don't see it. I think it was a huge mistake for them to do this. Now, I understand their frustration. I understand their anger. Hell, we're all feeling it. But we're not running around, taking over government buildings and occupying them. Well, I know you're probably saying, well, Rod, they did that on, the Occupy Wall Street people. They took over whole communities and streets and everything else. So why can't we just take over a building? Well, because we're better than that. I get it. I understand it. I really do. But what I don't understand is why you are going to look. I'm sorry. I hate to say, I know there are a lot of people out there. I've seen it on Facebook and other social media and other places on the interwebs, as they call it now. There is a lot of support for Bundy and his group, his band out there in Oregon. Well, I'm not privy to inside information on how the government is going to respond to this, but I'm telling you one thing. Bundy is a dead man. He's a dead man walking. He's not getting out of this. I will be surprised if he gets out of this alive. I'm telling you right now. And I know there are a lot. If you don't look, our government is now poised because of, and I'm going to get into this, Obama's gun grab. And what do these people have out there in Oregon? They got guns. What do they try to do in Ruby Ridge? go and confiscate somebody's legal guns. What did they try to do in Waco? Well, because this guy had legal guns that the government didn't like. I know that there are other issues behind both incidences, and there are other incidences around the country that are not as famous as those two, but the outcomes were just the same. And the reason for the Fed coming in heavy on these American citizens was based on something that was nothing more than a lie, because these people obtained their firearms legally. They held them legally. They did not use them for illegal activity, and they kept them on their own property. It's kind of like, I always bring this up. Bert from the movie Tremors. I want Bert's basement. But let me tell you something. There are people in the federal government who do not like Bert. And even though Bert obtained all of his firearms in that basement legally, I know it's a movie, but just follow me with this for a second, please. Bert obtained all those guns that he and Reba McEntire, his wife in the movie, had gotten them legally. Stored them legally on his own private property. Let me tell you, there are people in the federal government who do not like that. And they believe, like California has just recently enacted a law that now says that they can come in and confiscate your legal guns simply because your neighbor might call the cops and say, well, I think he's a little bit insane, or he's a little bit crazy, or he pointed a gun at me. And so they're going to come and take all your firearms and give you a 3-week timeout with no questions, no warrants. They're just going to knock on your door and say, give us your freaking guns because you're on a 3-week timeout. Why? We don't have to tell you, but your neighbor called in and said that you might be crazy. Might be crazy. Accusations. That's all it's going to take for people in California to start losing their firearms. Do you think they're going to get them all back? Hell no, they're not. That's the whole point. It's a gun grab, folks. This is the way they're going to confiscate our weapons. Now, there are people out there in California saying, well, I'll get them back. You're not going to get your guns back. I guarantee you, if the cops show up at your door and say you've got a 3-week timeout and you've got more than a 45, you're not going to get them back. You're not going to get them back because they're going to say, and they're going to try to prove it in the court of law, that you are too mentally unstable to have a firearm. You're not going to get them back. Now, maybe this is what the Bundy and his group are thinking about. The government comes in and decides that they're going to own you, own your property, and own your rights, and they're going to take whatever they want. And they're not going to give it back to you. In the meantime, you've got all these wonderful little stupid, idiotic liberals running around saying, yay, yay, yay. I mean, you got Hillary Clinton out there saying, yeah, well, hey, Obama's executive action on guns, that's my idea. Oh, hell no. It's a leftist idea. Born in communism and socialism and fascism. Put the three together and you've got nothing but oppression. There's no freedom in there. I mean, what was he got? Bernie Sanders out there, I just saw today that, we should break up the big banks. Why? Why should we break up the big banks? There are private. When did government all over the planet decide that they own everything that their citizens invested in and build? Oh, you didn't build that. Oh, bullshit, Obama. We all built that. Government didn't build it. Government took over a lot of stuff, but they didn't build it. So you got to start wondering, are these people, look, I've been hearing, for the last 3 years, people saying that, oh yeah, it's going to get ugly, Rod. It's going to get ugly. We're gearing up. We're built these militias. And now all of a sudden, they've been called militias even by the left up until this point. Now all of a sudden, no. They're not militias. They're not, these are criminals. Really? Who made them a criminal? You know, I hear people constantly say, well, we need a law for this and we need a law for that. I said, no, we don't. We got too many laws already. And I have constantly been telling people that the problem with our whole system right now is too many laws and government that is too big. And people they still don't quite get it yet, but they are starting to understand when I have put out there the difference between upholding the law and law enforcement. I have made it abundantly clear that there is a difference and what that difference is. And people are starting to understand and starting to get it. Our federal government has the most brutal collection agencies on the planet. And you would think that this type of activity coming from these agencies were coming straight out of the Iron Curtain, the Soviet Union, or even China. But you start putting people like the ATF and the IRS together, and they start going out, running around, attacking, terrorizing American citizens. And calling American citizens domestic terrorists and enemies of the state. Will Smith, that movie, that was you want to talk about a timely movie before its time. That movie is still very relevant, probably more so today than it was when it first came out in the late 90s. You don't believe me? Go watch it. I know he's starring in that new movie, Concussion, whatever, over-dramatized thing about the NFL and the concussion thing, whatever. No, I'm not going to go see that. No, I'm not. That's right now. I'm still at 100% with Will Smith. Every movie that I've seen Will Smith in, I've liked. I haven't seen all of his movies, so I'm just saying I'm 100% right now. But he's also an idiot. It's like, I don't know. Maybe we've got this. Maybe there are aliens. Maybe George Nuri's right. We got aliens running around that are mind controlling people. Because I listened to these leftists, and not only it's not that I want to pull my hair out when I listen to them. I just look at them totally dumbfounded by the sheer stupidity and idiocy that comes out of their mouths. It is the stupidity and idiocy is so unfathomable, even for me, that a lot of the time I'm standing there looking at them with my jaw dropped, and all I'm doing is blinking. Like, I cannot believe you just said what you just said. I mean, it has gone past the point of me responding logically, ethically, morally, and factually with these people to just unbelievable. I don't even know the words for these people. They're going to support a government that has been proven over and over and over again to hammer anybody that they want. And they don't even care if you are a liberal, because if you get in their way, the government's way, they're just going to steamroll you. And yet these people will constantly, they will complain about a Republican doing something that they say is illegal, that's good enough to be throwing that person, that conservative, that Republican in jail. And yet their Democratic candidate will do something 10 times worse on the same level of illegality, and they'll look the other way and say, oh, that doesn't matter. How do you do that? I am flabbergasted about with their ability to have such a huge and stark double standard. I'm absolutely amazed at their ability to have that kind of a double standard. hey, George Bush lied. He should go to jail because people died. He should go to jail now. We should still round up George Bush and Vice President Cheney and have them do a perp walk and throw them in jail. Well, Hillary Clinton lied and people died. Oh, but she's the most qualified person and female to be president in a long time, ever, possibly. We can't throw her in jail. We'll just forget about that. That's no big deal. Who cares about that now? Wait a minute. George Bush lied. He didn't lie, but you're claiming George Bush lied and needs to go to jail. We know Hillary Clinton lied. There is no doubt. And you're going to tell me that because you think she's the most qualified female in history to be president of these United States, and it's about time that we had a female president, why? Why? And if it's about, why not Carly Fiorina then? Why not Sarah Palin? Oh, Sarah Palin is just so stupid. Really? Why? Because of all the things she says. Oh, and Hillary Clinton doesn't say stupid things? Oh, it's because she's tired. I am amazed by the double standard. I mean, this is such a... You got these people out there in Oregon who are now occupying a empty federal building, and the left is all up in arms. Oh man, they not destroying anything. Oh man, we ought to take them down, take them out, throw them in jail, kill them, do whatever. You got Montel Williams out there running around saying that they need to all be shot, and you got a bunch of idiots running around in the cities of America like Ferguson and Baltimore, burning, looting, and destroying and killing people. And the left is like, well, they're just angry. Well, don't you think the people out there in Oregon are a little bit angry too? The double standard is just absolutely amazing. You can't make the... I don't think Hollywood could write a story like this. This is not something that you can possibly ever imagine until you actually see it happen. And then when you see it happen, you're still amazed that it actually happened. You cannot believe it. I am probably the most logical person that you will ever meet in reality in your entire life. And even I am having trouble understanding this. I mean, this is just absolutely beyond reality right now. I got to tell you, I'm in an alternate universe right now. Because in reality, this kind of thing does not happen. Oh, wait. It does happen. It has happened. We've seen it. It's called dictatorial ships. It's called fascism. Communism. We've seen it in the Soviet Union. We've seen it in Red China. We've seen it in Cuba. We've seen it in Germany under the Nazis. We've seen it going all the way back through history to any dictator, any anti-liberty-loving regime in history has done the same thing. And they've had their minions in every single case running around, pointing fingers with a double standard. You're not good, but you're good. We don't like you, but we like you, so you can do what the people that we don't like are doing, and we won't punish you because you're like us and we like you. That's what they're saying with Hillary Clinton. Hey, George W. Bush, he's not allowed to lie because we don't like him. Hillary Clinton, she can lie all day long, but we like her, so it's okay. It's like Muslims are taught. It's okay to lie to an infidel if what you're doing is to advance the kingdom of Allah. It's okay to lie to an infidel. Perfectly fine. It's okay to deceive them, kill them, do whatever you have to do. It is fine. And that's okay with the left. Hey, they can do that. That's fine. You get a Christian that gets caught lying. Oh my God, they're a hypocrite. Now, they don't really believe in Jesus, and they're just evil, mean, greedy people, and they're just using the church in order to get rich because they're just mean, evil, lying scum. But yet I'm still waiting to see where in the world right now Christians are beheading people. I'm waiting to see where in this country right now you've got government officials who are conservative Republicans who are not answering to the people when something happens to their ambassadors. Can you imagine if an if a Republican Secretary of State under a Republican president sat in front of Congress and shouted, "What difference does it make at this point?" Can you imagine the outcry, the sheer anger people on the left would be taking to the streets to call for that person's head? Hillary Clinton shouts it, "Oh, she's a smart woman. She handled them so well." She goes and sits on Capitol Hill for her testimony. What was that, like 15 hours or something, some ridiculous long amount of time? She looks bored throughout most of it, and everybody says, "Oh, she handled them so well." But you get a Republican who does the same thing. "Oh, look, he's just so callous. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. Lock him away." I don't know about you, but I'm really sick and tired of this double standard. I am sick and tired. And it's got to stop. It has got to stop. And only we the people, we have the power to be able to do that. I mean, look, when I was down in South Carolina, I mean, I know there were people in the rooms that I was giving speeches, and these people were, some of them were saying, well, they were hinting at the fact that if Donald Trump is a nominee or if another person is a nominee that they don't like, they're not going to vote. And I chastised them all. I don't care if they were 90 or if they were 9. Well, 19, I guess, in order to be able to vote. I'm sure the left probably has some, they still want 16-year-olds to vote in some states. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But so in most states, in order to vote legally, you got to be, 18. Well, it's all states. You got to be legally to vote. You got to be 18. So I don't care if you're 18 or 118. I laid it on the line. I told them that if you did not vote in 2012, thank you for supporting Barack Obama. Now, I saw some people squirm at that, but it is the absolute truth. And as I tell people, look, I'm not going to hold back. I don't care who you are. Because I don't care what you think of what I said. Because I don't care what you think about me. As long as you think. That's the whole point. I do not. This drives the left batty. When it comes to people like me who really do not care what other people think about themselves, because it's irrelevant. It really is. If some lefty out there can't stand me, hates my guts, and thinks I'm the worst thing since since Jesus Christ coming, I don't care, and they can't understand why their feelings and their thoughts about me do not affect me. You want to talk about confusing the hell out, confounding the left. When somebody starts in on me or tries to start in on me, and I respond, and I respond in a way that I do not care what they think, they get incensed because I'm supposed to care. Why? Isn't that what we were all told and taught? We're supposed to care, right? What other people think? I don't care what other people think. Well, evidently there are people out there. Well, the left obviously cares what other lefties think. I don't know. This double standard, it's really got to go away.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Rod coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust, and we plan to keep it that way. As we start off this wonderful year, this Wednesday, January the 6th in the year of our Lord 2016. Can you believe that it's been 16 years since the colloquial change of the millennium? I mean, you know, it just seems like it was yesterday. Everybody was worried about singing the song 1999. You know, Prince was, out there giving his song "Party Like It's 1999." The last two, he retired that song, by the way. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means he retired it so he was never going to sing it live again. And to this day, I don't think he has. I don't think he's sung "Party Like It's 1999" since 1999. So he's been living up to his promise about retiring the song. He's not bringing it out of retirement. I know there are some people, because this is football season still. We got people going into retirement and coming out of retirement constantly in football and other pro sports, but not with Prince and his mega hit from the 80s, "Party Like It's 1999." But here we are, 16 years into this new millennium, which I guess really it's not all that new anymore if it's 16 years have passed already. That's just incredible. It just seems like yesterday everybody was worried about the embedded computer chips. Remember that? Everything was going to stop functioning. Modern society was going to crumble because of all these embedded chips were going to have this massive problem because it couldn't register the millennial change. The internet was going to go down. The military stuff was going to go down. Airports were going to have to shut down and planes are going to fall out of the sky. And we had all these people running around. And we had this massive effort to go around to try to reprogram and replace these embedded chips all over the world in order to prevent this calamity. And then the ball dropped all over the planet, hour by hour, and nothing happened. The power grids all over the world stayed up. I didn't hear about anything, happening or going down or shutting down from 1999 to 2000 anywhere. For 24 hours. Do you know that New Year's Day, the ball drops 24 times? And some people think, well, what are you talking about? It only drops once. Well, no, that's because you're such a self-centered idiot. There are 24 time zones on this planet. So every hour during that time, there's, their version of the New York City ball drops. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. It's heard 24 times. This wonderful planet that we call Earth hears that cry, Happy New Year, 24 times. And I think that's where a lot of people... And I don't think, I know, because I see these people being interviewed on YouTube, these liberal they think that the entire world revolves around them. This is why somebody counted, what was it, 76 times in a 33-minute speech, Barack Obama used the term I. Me, 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 me. That's what, you would think that this guy who's, he's 54 years old or something? You would think that he's 24. The way he talks and the way he acts, it's all about him. When you're president, nothing is about you. It's all about the people that you represent and lead. For him, it's all about him. I remember specifically and quite vividly that when George H.W. Bush went out and played 9 holes of golf just one time, the left erupted with disgust and anger. This guy doesn't care about anybody but himself, and our troops are over there dying. Nobody died yet. And our troops are over there in the Middle East dying. We're in the middle of a war. Again, not in a war yet. And he's out there playing golf. How callous and cruel and mean can you possibly be? And how many times has this guy, currently in the White House, played golf? Not just one half round of 9 holes, but 9 holes and 18 holes. How many rounds of golf has this? I think people have lost count. Again, this absolute ridiculousness of a double standard. You know what? Maybe we should do a rewind. And hey, Mr. Bush Sr., President Bush Sr., 41. Maybe you should have played more rounds of golf. That was probably the problem, right? That you only played once. You played 1 round. That was your mistake. You probably should have played, upwards. Where are we at? 200 and some odd rounds for this guy now. Maybe, Mr. President, George H.W. Bush, you should have installed a basketball court at the White House and played basketball. Maybe, Mr. President George H.W. Bush, that you should have spent millions and millions and millions of taxpayer dollars going on vacations all over the place. Then, you probably wouldn't have been hated so much by the left. And to your son, President George W. Bush, maybe you should have taken up golf or played tennis. Maybe you should have gone on more vacations to Hawaii and Martha's Vineyard. And maybe you should have sent Laura on vacation to Italy and Spain. And maybe, Mr. President George W. Bush, maybe you should have bowed to the house of Saud, King Saud from Saudi Arabia. And because then you wouldn't have been hated so much by the left. Oh, wait, you probably still would have been hated? Yeah. Because there isn't a D before your name. Because we know that if you're a Republican, and you steal money while you're in office, oh man, that's all conservative. You're a hypocrite. You're a thief. You're a scoundrel. You should be thrown under the jail. You don't pay your just due taxes. Oh, you're a rich, filthy, greedy pig. Your Democrat doesn't pay your taxes. Oh, well, they just didn't understand the tax code. You're a Democrat who's caught with hundreds of thousands of dollars in your own freezer. I don't know how I got there. It's not mine. See, you guys just set him up, man. You set him up. You break ethics rules. Oh, we'll just give you a little slap on the wrist there, and you can actually get reelected to the office where you committed this corruptible offense. Oh, you're a Democrat and you got sent to jail for cocaine use? Well, maybe the people won't vote you for mayor again, but yeah, city council, come on in, brother. We're going to re-elect you. I'm just sick and tired of the double standard. Hey, Republicans, they want to take away women's health care because they want to take away a woman's right to get an abortion. Oh, women's abortion, that's all women's health care. That's all it's about. The Republicans want to take it away. They want to harm women. They want to make sure that women suffer by giving birth to a kid that they don't want. They want to take away women's health care because they don't care about women. There's a war on women. The Republicans are waging a war on women. And you know exactly where I'm going next, don't you? Because you're an ecclesiastite. That's right. You got Muslims who are stoning and beating and whipping and killing women left and right. They are shackled and chained. They have no freedom to move about. In many Muslim countries, they can't drive. They can't get an education past the 6th or 8th grade. They can't hold government office. They have to cover up. They can't go anywhere without a male escort from somebody from their own family. And they have to, they can't be out there and just talking and speaking their mind. They have to only be seen and can't be heard. And yet there's a war being waged by Republicans who want women to have equal rights, equal pay, and all the benefits of running for public office and doing everything else, breaking the glass ceiling, all that kind of stuff. But hey, the Republicans are waging war on women because they don't want women to be able to have an abortion. But if you're a Democrat, you're going to support Sharia law because, hey, it's just freedom of religion. Oh, but you want to be a Christian and put up a statue of Jesus on Christmas? No, there's no separation of church and state. Oh, but we can bring in Sharia law. Why are we putting up with this double standard? Why? And you're saying, well, Rod, we're not. Yes, we are. Maybe that's why Eamon Bundy has finally had enough. And his band of merry men. I won't call him merry. Probably, well, not Robin Hood, but what? Why not Robin? You know what that story's about? Let me just digress for a second here, because everybody thinks that Robin Hood is he's this folk hero, but he's also a criminal. He stole from the rich and gave to... Do you know who Robin Hood stole from? He didn't steal from the rich. He stole from the government. Why do you think the sheriff of Nottingham wanted to get him so bad? He was stealing from the government. He was taking the money that was being paid out in taxes. And he was giving it back to the people who paid those usury taxes. He was stealing from the government. And historically speaking, there is a legitimate argument. Was he really stealing? Or was he really refunding the overpayment of taxes by an overbearing, overtaxing government? I mean, you decide on that one. But the truth is, he wasn't stealing from the rich. He was stealing from the government. You don't do that. Not in any country. At any time, you can't. You can steal from your neighbor, and that means you might be able to get away with it. But you steal. they will. One of the things I know I come back to TV and TV programs a lot, and it's simply because it's sort of kind of reflects society. You got the Tom Selleck TV show Blue Bloods. I've seen a few episodes of it. It's okay, not bad. But one of the episodes, it struck me as because Tom Selleck, his character is the police commissioner, chief of police of what is it, commissioner in New York City, or is it chief of police? Well, it doesn't matter. He's the big guy. He's the head cop in New York City. And he gives a press conference once, and he says, "We will stop at nothing to hunt you down, track you down, and bring you to justice. We will stop at nothing." Now, that's kind of reflective that if you do something against the government of this country, they will stop at nothing to railroad you either into jail or into the grave. It's just the facts. They will stop at nothing. It doesn't, if you steal $100 from the IRS, they will spend $100 million, if that's what it takes, to track you down and bring you to justice. Because it isn't about the money. That's one thing you got to understand. It's not about the money. It is about the power and the control. And there is no way that you should be able to challenge their power and their control and their authority. Because if you do, that is the worst thing you could possibly do, even in this country when we are supposed to have the freedom to address our government and come before them and get some sort of regress. But no, you can't do. In fact, they're setting up systems where it becomes more and more difficult for the citizen to be able to control their own government. You've got judges now saying, well, you can't sue the government over this law because you have no standing. What? I'm a citizen. And this law affects me. Well, but it hasn't really directly affected you yet, so you have no standing. So, in other words, I've got to wait until the government comes busting down my door and shoots me dead before I have standing. Well, according to some judges, yes. But on the other hand, the government can come in, hey, government, you don't have any standing to take my gun simply because my neighbor says I might be a little bit nutso. Oh, yeah, we do. Because it's for the safety of everybody, especially the safety of government officials. But you don't have any standing. Oh, we've got all the standing in the world. Maybe that's why Ammon Bundy and his band of merry men have taken over a federal refuge out there in Oregon. Because maybe they too are sick and tired of the double standard, of the blatant, obvious double standard. It is so blatant, and so they're not even trying to hide their double standards. They used to try to hide it and try to downplay it. And, well, no, it's not that bad. And we're not really saying it this way, but it's really, no, they don't care anymore. They are so obvious about it. The only thing they're not doing is they're not just coming out and saying, yeah, we have a double standard and we like it. That's the only next step that they got. Because they're not hiding their double standard anymore. They're that. Look, 1,300 seats nationwide since 2010 lost to the Republicans from the Democrats. I don't know what else there is to say. The people are trying and trying and trying. Thankfully, so, not hard enough on the national level, but they're trying to retake their government, at least locally and on a statewide level. But the fewer Democrats that are in elected office, the more deranged, evil, and dangerous they get. And yet, for some reason, Republicans hold all of this vast power, and they don't use it. And when they don't use their power, They're told that, we're told, oh, yeah, they're wise, they're working with us, they're crossing the aisle. It's a beautiful thing. It's bipartisan. I mean, Paul Ryan, hey, you got Chuck Schumer out there saying, hey, wow, this is amazing, man. We got more than we asked for. And now Paul Ryan's their hero. When Paul Ryan had the power to crush them, which is what he should have done. But no. Because all you hear about is like, oh, yeah, the American people, they want the Republicans to work with the Democrats. They want the Republicans to capitulate. They want the Republicans. But yet and still, we go out there and keep electing Republicans over Democrats over the last 6 years. More and more Republicans. But the lamestream media keeps telling us, well, the people want the Republicans to back off. They want the Republicans to work with the Democrats. They want the Republicans to become more liberal. No, we don't, which is why we keep electing Republicans. Maybe that's why Ammon Bundy and his band of merry men took over the refuge in Oregon. You really have to start asking those kind of questions. We're not. You got to start addressing them. You've got to start pointing out and damning the people that need to be damned, and that's just it. You need to start condemning the people that need to be condemned, and make no apologies about it. Do not be. If you are afraid to speak your mind, you are capitulating and digging your own grave. You really are. Look, as far as the left is concerned, if you're not with them, you're against them anyway. And even if you just remain silent, if you do not support them, you are against them. So it doesn't matter if you're a loudmouth or if you're silent. You are dead to them anyway. Do not doubt me. You got the left out there who always says that the death penalty, oh, that's a barbaric act. But then they talk about how George W. Bush needs to be hung. Literally. We shouldn't be out there killing people. Our military, man, they're just evil because they're running around killing people, yet they will kill millions of babies in the womb every year. And they'll call that health care, by the way. And we got health care, too. It's called lead poisoning. Here's something out of Oregon, by the way. From The Guardian, authorities plan to cut off power to the militia at occupied Oregon refuge. Why haven't they already done it? Isn't that protocol number one in a hostage situation? Basically that they're holding the refuge. I know there's nobody there, but they're holding the building in the nature reserve around it, refuge, hostage. After all, according to the left, plants and animals have more human rights than humans do. So aren't they holding animals hostage? So why haven't they already cut the power? I mean, that would seem... So I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Because they're setting this up, folks. They are setting this up. Don't doubt me. And I don't think that Bundy and his band of merry men are actually all that stupid. I mean, I think what they just did was kind of stupid, but they're not stupid as... I am sure they understand and know what to expect from the government in response to what they've just done. And I'm sure in some way they're fully prepared for whatever. Because, some of these guys, from what I understand, some of these guys are, they're former military. And so there goes that whole note. See, you got all these former military, and they're domestic terrorists now. Now there was a Star Trek Next Generation episode. Again, I'm going back to TV. But it reflects real life society. There is an episode where this planet had a war with another planet. And they took these volunteers and they bioengineered them to be these super soldiers. And when the war was over, and those soldiers those men that volunteered to be turned into these super soldiers won the war, instead of being given what they were promised, the government became afraid of them and shipped them off to the moon, that planet's moon, where they were supposed to live. And they were treated terribly and poorly. Because all of a sudden, the heroes that saved their planetary society were now the pariahs, were now the terrorists, were now the enemy, and had to be dealt with. This is what we're doing to our veterans. They're the heroes when we need them. We'll train them to become super efficient, massive killing machines. And then when they've seen the horrors of war and they've done their job, and they come back to us, now we're going to label them as baby killers and domestic terrorists, and we don't give them the proper medical treatment that we promised them in the first place. We don't help them with their mental issues like we promised them that we would do if they ever came across these mental issues in the first place. And we just put them out there. We let them rot on the streets as homeless vets. And now all of a sudden, we're going to label them as domestic terrorists. Because now we're at a point where our government really just wants to not only keep tabs on them, but probably round them up. Who knows? Maybe Obama doesn't want to close Gitmo. Maybe he wants to expand it and throw all the military vets down there. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the man is there is you never know what this guy's going to do. Well, he is a liberal.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSInstitute.com.
Stuck in a boring, low-paid job? By 2017, there will be a shortage of 2 million cybersecurity jobs worldwide. If you have a technical background but don't have a computer certification, you're being drastically underpaid. In months, you could be qualified for a new job in information technology, making real money with real job security. A new career is just a few clicks away at thecodeoflearning.com.
Did you know doctors can report some mentally ill patients to the FBI under Obama's new gun control executive order rules? This is, folks. Look. This is all about confiscating your legally obtained weapon, because we all know that. All you legal gun owners out there, all you guys are just criminals. You're running around killing people left and right. I mean, look, you heard Hillary Clinton. We've got to do something about the gun violence in this country. You know, because everybody in Chicago, as we well know, they're all legal gun owners over there. That's right. All those drive-by shootings and the hundreds and was it 3,000 people last year in Chicago or some ridiculously high number. We know they were all killed by people who had legal firearms. Well, they all of those criminals went to a gun store, a firearm store, passed a background check. You know, the lame background check that we currently have, evidently, that's what the liberals are saying. You know, we don't have enough background. They went and they bought the guns legally, passed the background check, went home and committed these gun crimes. So if we want to stop all the gun violence and gun crimes in this country, we have to be able to take the guns out of the hands of the criminals. And the way you do that is you prevent law-abiding citizens from being able to have guns. That'll work every single time. It's worked all over the world. They've taken the guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens, and crime has just gone down to nearly nothing, right? I mean, England. You know, there's no more gun violence in England. There's no more gun violence in Australia. There's no gun violence in places like, Russia and China. There's no gun violence in any of these dictatorial kinds of countries because the citizens can't legally have guns, so nobody's got a gun. Oh, the only people who have guns are the government, the cops, and the military. Nobody else has guns, so there's no gun violence anymore. Wait, there's still gun violence? So are you saying then that it's the government who's committing the gun violence in all these wonderful countries across the globe? No, it's not the government that's doing it. It's criminals who are getting the weapons illegally, and they've always gotten them illegally. But now that the wonderful law-abiding citizens have no way to protect themselves, so gun violence has gone up. So I guess that's what... Well, hey, Chicago, some of the toughest gun laws in this country. It should be a utopia over there in Chicagoland, right? So doctors can report some mentally ill patients to FBI under new gun control rule, and delivering on his promise to deliver common sense. What is so common sense about taking a gun out of out of the hands of a law-abiding citizen? What is common sense about that? How about we just fully enforce the gun laws that we already have on the books, even though most of them are unconstitutional anyway? But how about we just, since we already got them, why don't we just enforce those? I know some people are saying, what do you mean they're unconstitutional? Rod, no, they're not constitutional. Founding fathers didn't... Look, if you want to say that a criminal cannot legally... a certain kinds of criminals cannot legally have a firearm because they're known to have committed crimes. If you commit a crime with a firearm, I'm going to say that, even with the I think our I think the founding fathers would probably have just hung you already. But if you commit a crime with a gun, I would say that, you probably lose your right to carry a gun in the future. To have one legally. I'll go with that. But a lot of this other stuff, are you kidding me? I mean, it's when I was talking to that wonderful Marine Kent in South Carolina, there was another, I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but another woman was discussing the whole gun issue with us, and one of the things that she brought up, of course, obviously, Kent and I agreed, we know the facts behind it, but you have military personnel, the very people who are, you could honestly say, who are overly trained in the operation and care and handling of a firearm. And yet, these people, who are probably the world's best trained firearm experts, can't have their own weapon. Their guns are locked away in the armory. Now, here's the real rub. As Kent was quick to point out, he says it's worse than that. Because we're saying it's a stupid idea to while our army personnel or military personnel are on base, that they can't have their weapon with them. That's just dumb. He goes, well, it's worse than that, because you got to go to the armory and you got to sign out and go through all this rigmarole to get your firearm. They're like, yeah, we know. He says, but then you got to go to a different location to get the ammunition for that firearm and do the same thing all over again. And he says you have to be accountable for every single round. He said if you lose a round, you can be in real big trouble. If you cannot account for every single round, you could be in big trouble. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, wait a minute. So your gun and your ammo are in two different locations. And if you can't account for all of your ammunition, then you can be in trouble. Yeah, some people have even been court-martialed, he said. Are you kidding me? This is how we treat our military, by the way. And the interesting thing is that when I go into Logan Airport, I take a bus. I don't like driving to the airport because I'm not going to pay that stupid usury fee to park in. It's like $50 or $60 a day to park at Logan Airport. That's redonkulous to pay that much at a stupid parking garage. And there's with no security, by the way. I mean, anything could, and they even, we're not, the big signs, we're not responsible for your vehicle while it's on our property. You're going to charge me all this money to park here, and you're not going to protect my car. Yeah, no. So I take a bus into Logan. Now, when I was getting on the bus, excuse me, this past Sunday, there was this. He was this fresh-faced, blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid. He looked like he was 12. Literally. But he was in, Army fatigues. But he really looked like he was 12. And there are these women. These women were so, it's like 3 of them. They were overly happy. They were going on vacation. I don't know where they were going, but they were just, you think that they were already drinking. Because that's how, so euphoric they were. They're just a bunch of ladies getting together and going on a vacation. They've even made movies about that kind of thing. Well, one of them looked at him and said, "Oh my God, you are so cute and adorable. You don't even look old enough." And he goes, and he just cracked a smile. He laughed. He goes, "Well, I'm 18, ma'am." And I looked at him, and I'm just looking at this blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid who looks like he's 12. I'm looking at his poise. I am looking at his confidence. I am looking at how polite he is towards these women, answering their questions, calling them ma'am, not being snide. I don't know what he's thinking in his head. He's probably thinking, well, geez, lady, I'm 18 years old. Give me a break. But his response to them and his actions and the way he carried himself, 18 years old? Now, I talked to him a little bit. I said, well, where are you headed? He goes, I'm headed back to Georgia. I said, oh, boy, well, this is probably the best time to go down there. Now, I'm thinking that maybe he's, still in basic training. I think this is probably a good time. The humidity is a lot less, and you're not going down there in July or August when the heat is at its worst and the humidity is at its worst. Because I graduated. I was down there. I graduated basic at the beginning of July. I go, oh, well, you already know. He goes, yes, sir, I do. I said, well, good for you, young man. Now, I didn't ask him what his job was in the military, and for those who know military terms, that would be MOS. I didn't ask what his MOS was. Because I didn't really think it was any of my business. He's probably still training in it. But here he is, 18 years old, carrying himself with such poise. And also getting on the bus with us was this 20-something college student, male, long hair, pierced ears, pierced nose, walking around, now I'm going to be blunt, walking around like a faggot. And he probably wasn't gay. But you get what I'm saying. And he was being kind of rude. And I'm thinking, wow, what a difference. 18-year-old young man. 18-year-old young man who volunteered to go in the military to serve his country and help protect us. And he's out there doing his job to protect us at the age of 18 to help this 20-something-year-old boy who's running around acting like everything circles around him. What a difference. And I made a comment to Ken. I said, maybe countries like Sweden and Switzerland have it right. Maybe, every male in this country should serve 1 or 2 years in the military. I know we have a constitution, they have freedom, but it just seems to me if we had some sort of system like that in place, we wouldn't have half the problems that we have with the young people in this country. And maybe there'd be a little bit more respect for our Constitution and for our laws. Maybe there'd be less support for people like Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Maybe we wouldn't have Occupy Wall Street. And maybe we wouldn't be talking about Obama coming up with a way to confiscate your firearm because the young men of this country would not allow it. It amazes me. I look, I'm a people watcher. I like to watch and listen to people. And in Charlotte Airport, now evidently, all these wonderful young men, most of them in their army fatigue, camouflage fatigue. So, some of them were not. Most of them were. But watching them walk through the Charlotte Airport, because I had to fly into Charlotte, take a connecting, jump jet flight, prop job over to Hilton Head Island. But I'm watching all of these, and there were a lot. So they're coming back from their Christmas holiday, Christmas break, and probably a lot of them, they all looked very young. So they were probably, recent boot camp grads or recent grads for their MOS training. So they're heading back to their duty station, and I'm watching them conducting themselves in this airport. And even the ones that were not in uniform, but you knew that they were in the military because who they were hanging around with and how they were conducting themselves and what they were carrying, actually. Some of their duffel bags and stuff. But I'm watching these guys. And then I'm watching at the same time all of these other young males around the same age who are not military. And I see such a stark difference between them. And I'm just sitting in my chair in the airport waiting for my flight. By the way, American Airlines, y'all got some problems you need to iron out. Now, over the past 3 days, I've taken 4 different flights. Only one of them was on time. And the one that was on time was only on time because it was the last flight of the day going to where I was going. And it's the only one that left on time. So 3 out of the 4 flights were late. Now, I don't know, but I'm, maybe what we need in these airports, because I'm looking at a lot of these employees at these airports too, and thinking, I'm not talking about the TSA agents. That's a whole different ballgame. But I'm looking at these workers. There is no sense of urgency or care whatsoever in their actions. And they're not all like that. I understand that. But we sat on the tarmac for 10 minutes when we landed from Hilton Head going to Charlotte. We sat in the tarmac for 10 minutes. Why? Because somebody couldn't get their ass in gear to bring out the power cables to hook it up to the aircraft. Now, they can't turn off both because they're prop engines. So they can't turn off the second prop engine until they get power hooked up, ground power as they call it. And we can't deplane, as their term, until all engines have fully stopped. So many people have connecting flights that they've got to get to, but yet and still somebody wasn't paying, and they kept saying, well, we need the ground power. I don't know what the big deal was. Why not just go out there and pull the damn cable that you need to? Every one of the gates has these things, so why can't somebody connect it to the plane? What was the pilot was sitting up there, I don't know, we can't turn off the engine until they connect us to ground power for 10 minutes. That's American Airlines for 10 freaking minutes. I don't understand that kind of stuff. And this one guy kept coming up and he goes, well, I don't know what's happening. Well, can you do it? Can you connect it? He goes, well, I'm not supposed to. Are you capable of doing it? Yeah, but it's not my job. What? Wait, so you've been trained on how to do it properly, but today it's not your job? Well, who's the person whose job it is, and why aren't they doing their job? And why don't you care enough to go find them? But in that airport were a bunch of young men who cared. They conducted themselves with professionalism, and they acted like men. Versus, you could tell the difference between those trained men that had respect for other people versus those other guys of their same age that did not act the way that those military people acted. The same level of care and consideration for others was not there in the civilians. And it was such a stark difference. Yeah, I gotta tell you, the men and women of our military, I am so proud of those people. Those young, I don't know. I can't say enough good, positive stuff about them. Because they are head and shoulders above the vast majority of civilians of their same age. The difference is just amazing. And look, those young men today are going to be leaders tomorrow. We don't have enough of them. Because what we got instead is people like Barack Obama, who are running around faking tears at a press conference. I just can't believe we got to do something about this gun violence. And trying to usurp the Constitution every chance he gets because it's all about him. I mean, it's all about him. No, I'm president. No, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to let this happen. And I'm going to make sure that people do this. And I'm going to make sure people do that. And because I said so, because I'm the president. You know, there was an article I'm getting sick and tired of seeing this kind of stuff. But there was an article about Congress is about to repeal, is about to lay the hammer down on Obamacare. I'm like, give me a freaking break. I am so sick and tired of hearing this stuff. Look, repeal it with a veto-proof majority, and then we'll talk. And then we'll say that you did something in Congress. And don't give me this crap that they're going to, send Obama. They're not sending him anything. You got doctors who are now going to be reporting people who may. So be prepared. One of the when you go to your doctor and they ask you all sorts of health questions, one of the questions that they're now going to be forced to ask you is, do you own a firearm? And you'll probably at first say, well, what does that got to do with anything? Because if you do, and the doctor thinks for whatever reason that you might be even a tad bit slightly off mentally, he's going to have to report you. And then you're going to get a knock on your door from your local police or sheriff's department and the FBI saying, well, you got to turn in your guns, man, because you're unstable. Folks, I'm telling you, this is going to happen. This is the way it's going. I don't, folks, you really got to start paying attention to stuff like this. Oh, by the way, we got another news sponsor here, and it actually has to do with healthcare. Basically, if you're sick and tired of the constant financial pressure that our government is putting on us, and they do it all the time, they're constantly putting we can do with less, the government can't do with less. So if the government needs more money, they just take it from us. And they just say, well, you deal with less. So they're constantly putting pressure on our pockets. So, look, I feel your pain. And the people at StopObamacareTaxNow.com feel your pain. And because they've heard the horror stories surrounding the Affordable Care Act. We've all heard these horrible stories. So when you look at the facts, the Affordable Care Act numbers just don't add up. And if you think that you're going to get hammered, that you have to be hammered either by having health care insurance from Obamacare or paying the stiff fines and penalties that are sure to come if you don't, you may be able to get out of it. And in order to find out, you need to visit www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com to find out more about what your rights are under the Obamacare legislation. That's www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com. You may find that there are alternatives, cheaper ways for you to handle your health care needs and still be compliant with the federal government until the Republicans get their act in gear and their butts in action and actually repeal this crap. So again, that's www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com. And one of the most exciting things that I could possibly be saying to you right now is the fact that this is not the end of the program. Oh no, we've still got another hour to go. Isn't that wonderful? Because I still have a lot more to discuss with you. So hang in there, folks. We'll be right back after the break. Rod Eccles still bringing the rain.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Do for hour number 3? Well, I think this is what we're going to do for hour number 3.
Bring the rain!
Better have a bulletproof umbrella because you are about to get soaking wet. Hello and welcome back for hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. I am, of course, your lovable host, L. Rod, the proud Christian gun-toting L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state's motto is still live free or die. And everybody knew that down in South Carolina. Everybody across the country knows this state's motto. They love it. Haven't heard anybody yet say that there's something wrong with it. They love the motto, live free or die. So you liberals here in New Hampshire that understand that the rest of the country loves the state motto and thinks of it positively. So leave it alone. It is Wednesday, January the 6th, in the year of our Lord 2016, as we continue. And now we've gone from the fastest 2 hours on Internet Talk Radio to the fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio. But fear not, of course, we've got this last wonderful third hour to go, and I got so much more to cover. I know some people ask, like, can you talk for 3 hours? And I'm looking at them, do you really know me? I can talk for 6 hours, man. Yeah, I probably got enough material here today in the paper pile to cover 24 hours. Tell you the truth, I could do a marathon. But unfortunately, we do gotta get moving along in some of this stuff. So here's something from Breitbart, continuing from last hour's on gun control. Obama's gun control plan includes gun ban for some Social Security beneficiaries. Now we've already got the medical industry involved, kind of like, the IRS is now involved in your health care. But now we've got the medical industry involved, being an arm of a policing agency called the ATF and the FBI, to determine who should be able to have a firearm and who shouldn't. Now Obama's pushing for one of the other aspects of his gun grab is senior citizens and other people who are getting Social Security benefits. Now, you have to understand, this is a direct, there's two direct results. This is a direct result of his wanting to strip you of your gun, because he doesn't think any citizen should have a gun. The left doesn't think anybody should have a gun except for them. That should give you pause right there. But the other thing is that this comes from the fact that so many of us on the right have said, well, if you want government benefits, welfare, there's certain things that you should have to do in order to get those benefits. Maybe take a drug test. Do what they do up in Maine. You have to go look for a job or train for a job so that you can have one, because you can't be on welfare your entire life. And so now they're saying, well, basically, if you conservatives and Republicans want welfare recipients to be able to prove that they need those benefits, well, now if you're a senior citizen or if you're getting Social Security, now you're going to need to prove that you really need to have a gun. Well, I got to tell you, the people that probably need protection from other people the most are senior citizens and those people who truly are disabled receiving Social Security benefits. Because how are they going to defend themselves? This is so insidious. This gun grab is so insidious. Paul Ryan, where the hell are you? McConnell, where the hell are you on this? Obama I haven't heard them repudiate this yet. You knew that this guy was going to do something like this. He promised it to us months ago. He even said, my last year in office, I'm going to dedicate to gun control. Sensible gun control. So where are the Republicans in repudiating him right now? Where's the Republican leadership saying, Mr. President, don't you dare? Where is it? Where is that repudiation? I don't see it. I don't hear it. The silence from the Republican leadership is deafening. So basically, Obama pushed to ban gun possession for Social Security beneficiaries who are believed incapable of handling their own finances. But it goes further than that. I mean, it actually goes further than that. Now, at the same time, the Los Angeles Times was reporting that a ban was being put together outside of the public view. Why do you have to be secretive about this? It's not like it's national security or something. You're talking about taking away people's basic Second Amendment right here. So why are you hiding it? It doesn't need to be. It's not national security. Why are you hiding it? Well, because if people knew they'd be hoarding guns, they're hoarding. Oh, but look, I've seen the ads and the memes and everything and the news stories all over the place. Obama's probably the greatest gun salesman the planet has ever seen. I mean, more guns have been sold since he's been president than record after, record month after record month after record month since this guy's been in office. Yeah, he's he's selling. He's forcing people to get Bert's Basement. I should I should do a segment on RodEccles.net for Bert's. I think I'm going to put together something for Bert's Basement. I'm jealous of Bert's Basement. I really am. I mean, just the sheer toys, and I know you probably shouldn't call them toys, but the toys that he had in that, they were fantastic. And no, not just for they're just, look, guns are fascinating. They're mechanisms, they're machines, and you don't have to kill people or things with a gun. It's called target practice. There's sport guns. I don't know. What is Obama going to start taking away shotguns and skeet shooting guns too? I don't know. But they're fascinating. It doesn't make me or anybody else a violent person just because they like to have a firearm or 2 or 50. And why? If you never use them for ill, who cares how many you got? Because you can only wield one at a time. Well, I suppose if you watch some of the movies, you can have two handguns, and if you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, I guess you can, and you have muscles like that, I guess you can hold 2 machine guns or AKs or something, and fire them at the same time. But you're still not going to have more than 2. I don't know a single human being that can fire more than 2 guns at once. If there is, I want to know how they do it. Are they going to sit down and fire with their feet? Well, I suppose that might be possible. That'd be an interesting feat. But who cares how many you have? I don't care how many you got. If you can afford to buy them and you got them all legally, I don't give a flip why you have them. It's none of my business. I would look at, if you had some of the guns that I would like to get, I'd probably just look at you with a little bit of jealousy. And thinking, wow, how do you afford to get that, man? I'd love to get my hands on one of those too. Have you ever gone just, the target shooting or something? It's a blast. I know, double entendre there, but it is a blast. You should, if you've never done it, now look, do it. Go someplace where there are professionals around that can teach you how to handle the firearm, shooting range or something, and just shoot off a few rounds. I know it can get kind of expensive if you're not careful, if you shoot off too much, but go and just shoot off a few rounds. Be taught how to handle the gun that you want to shoot properly, how to aim it and fire it and all that kind of stuff, and learn more about it and how it works and operates, and just go have some fun shooting at targets. They're a blast. Again, double entendre. I got to stop that. I'm sorry. They are. Just go have some fun with them. You don't need to. There are people that just shoot off rounds. That's their entertainment. I know you think they're the people in the backwoods and everything in the country and yeehaw. Did you know that? I was doing some research on this a while back. Did you know that in the old Wild West, the West of Jesse James and Wyatt Earp and all those things, that gun-related crime and murder was lower than on the East Coast? Did you? Well, I'm not talking about California, but Dodge City, Texas and Arizona and Colorado, and all those, the Wild West, what we consider to be the Wild West. Why? Because everybody carried. Everybody carried. They had a firearm or 2 strapped to their hips, or it was stuck in the holster of their on their horse. Everybody had a gun. There was mutual respect there. Nobody wanted to start popping off rounds at everybody because they knew everybody was going to be shooting back at them. That's a little bit of U.S. Western history. The Wild West actually was not so wild. It was actually kind of calm and boring. That's the reality of history of the West in the 1800s. It was calm and boring. It was occasionally interrupted by these larger than life bandits like Billy the Kid and those people, but and some legendary lawman like Wyatt Earp. But other than that, it was pretty quiet. I wonder if any of those people, what would they do to our government if back then the government tried to take their guns? I don't know. Interesting to probably try to think. What would the founding fathers do if? Well, I know what the founding fathers would do. They'd be, calling up the Minuteman call to arms and storming Washington at the moment. But I just wonder what those in the Wild West would do if they tried doing this back then. But in any case, so they're putting together these rules or these bans outside of public view, so all the details are not currently known. But the Los Angeles Times did know that the ban would cover those who are unable to manage their own affairs for a multitude of reasons, from subnormal intelligence or mental illness. Now, that is subjective, because what is subnormal intelligence? Hell, we've already got the left thinking that they're smarter than everybody else, and they're telling everybody else out there who's a Republican or a conservative or a constitutionalist and who likes guns that there's something wrong with you. You're mentally ill or you're stupid or both. That is highly subjective. Subnormal intelligence or mental illness to incompetency, an unspecified condition or disease could also put you on the no-gun list for Social Security recipients. Unspecified, what condition? What disease? Oh, he's got cancer. You can't have a gun. Why? Mental illness. We already know that they already think that, we're mentally ill when they're the ones who are. Liberalism is a mental illness. I'm convinced of that now. I am thoroughly convinced of it. It really is. Now, the ban as pertaining to Social Security beneficiaries is now tucked into the mental health aspects of Obama's executive gun control. His executive health. Folks, you want to talk about insidious. And, of course, here's a story on Obama and his wonderful little 30-minute speech. He referred over 33 minutes of his speech. He referred to himself I, me, my 76 times. Now, nobody who's normal does that. The guy is not mentally stable. It is classic narcissism, and narcissism is a mental illness. It's a mental disruption. So basically, if at some point, what Obama's trying to do, if you're getting any sort of government benefit, it's going to be construed as that you're incapable of taking care of yourself for whatever reason. Therefore, you're disqualified from owning a gun. Now, understand that every single American at the age 67 now, every single American has to start withdrawing from Social Security. So every American, if they get to the ripe old age of 67, you're going to fall under the purview of the federal government and their gun ban. So even if you do have Bert's basement now, you turn 67, they're going to say, you're getting government assistance now and you're mentally unstable. You can't take care of yourself. So all your guns are getting confiscated. Don't doubt me on that. And that's where it starts. All you got to do is start with one aspect of society, and it'll be a hell of a lot easier to start in other aspects of society and expand it until it includes everybody. Or until it at least includes everybody that you want to include. And trust me, Obama wants it to include everybody who is not in the government. I mean, we got so many different kinds of people that you never would think should have guns in the federal government are starting to carry guns. IRS agents there's some IRS agents carrying guns. Some postal inspectors are carrying guns. Housing people from HUD. I mean, I had those stories last year, folks. They're carrying guns. Why? They're not law enforcement. Well, they're regulatory enforcement. And yeah, people at the SEC, there's even some I guess there's now going to be a policing department of the SEC. What, they need to have a gun to go into a stockbroker's office now? Folks, I'm telling you, this stuff is starting to get, it's not starting to get, it is scary. It is scary. I know, but it's not time to panic yet. As I told the good folks down in South Carolina, it is not time to panic. I'll let you know when it is, and right now I'm not hitting the panic button. You know, if you're going to use a term like they use for nuclear war, the midnight clock, you know, what are we standing at now? 5 minutes to midnight or something like that? Well, we might be moving closer now that North Korea is suspected of detonating and successfully testing a hydrogen bomb. Yeah, I got that story here. I know I got the story. North Korea tests its own hydrogen bomb. Let's see if we can pull that story up really quick. And this is from Newsmax, by the way. North Korea claims hydrogen bomb test. So North Korea's claim, according to Newsmax, that it carried out a successful hydrogen bomb test earlier today, drew swift condemnation from friends and foes alike. China said it firmly opposes its neighbor's action, while others blasted it as an intolerable provocation that must be punished. Well, how are you going to punish them? And frankly, China, if China can't control that jackbooted idiot over there in North Korea, then nobody can. So this whole notion that China is condemning, I don't, maybe publicly for the world's, for the save face in the world, they're saying, we condemn it. But I'm sure behind closed doors, they probably gave them technology to help them along. Don't doubt me. Do not doubt me on that. If China wanted to shut down North Korea, they could do it. No questions asked. So several governments promised a firm response as tensions soared again in Northeast Asia, with many calling for further action by the United Nations. They go, what action? Look, the people are already living in poverty. They're already starving to death. What more could the UN possibly do? Nothing. The man is a crazed crackpot taking after his father and grandfather. Now, maybe mental illness is hey, Obama, how about this? Because you're constantly talking about, certain people shouldn't have guns. Well, how about certain people shouldn't have bombs? How about the mentally, disabled and less than normal intelligence not be allowed to have bombs? So we're just going to allow this crackpot in North Korea to have a gun, a gun, big guns. He gets to have nuclear. You think he's going to keep that stuff to himself? Hell, there's another story here that from Iran. Out of Iran, Iran has got a new. Oh, hey, they got a new missile site. Did you know that? Iran unveils a second underground missile station silo. Yeah, and this is even from liberal publication writers Yahoo News. Iran unveiled a new underground missile depot yesterday with state television showing Ahmad precision-guided missiles in store, which the United States says can take a nuclear warhead and violate a 2010 UN Security Council resolution. But hey, you know what? Obama's taken the side of Iran over Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia executed some Iranians who they convicted of terrorism. You know, we're still supposed to do these wonderful, arms deals and stuff and treaty with Iran, and they're not. Oh no, they don't have any more missile silos. Hey, guess what? They got another missile silo. At the same time, you got North Korea up there claiming that they're testing hydrogen bombs. At the same time, got another story here that's related. Our Pacific Fleet is shrinking. Hello?
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSinstitute.com.
Stuck a boring, low-paid job? By 2017, there will be a shortage of 2 million cybersecurity jobs worldwide. If you have a technical background but don't have a computer certification, you are being drastically underpaid. In months, you could be qualified for a new job in information technology, making real money with real job security. A new career is just a few clicks away at thecodeoflearning.com.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Associated Press is reporting that the U.S. Pacific Fleet is smaller now, even as China's military grows, even as North Korea tests a hydrogen bomb, even as Iran unveils a second, previously unknown, at least to the rest of the world, missile silo. Loaded with missiles that can have nuclear warheads attached. So, look, folks, I'm just reporting. I don't make any of this stuff up. If I did, it'd be a lot nicer. It'd be more. I would like to write stories and report to you. I would like for the world to be boring. I would like to be able just to come to you and say, look, I got 3 hours and not much to talk to you about because, the dictators all over the world, they've been deposed by their people and they've just given up and they said, well, we want the world and the people to be free and we're going to get rid of all of our mass destruction weapons. There's not going to be any more war. So, everything's peaceful and, people can do what they want within reason and no more government interference and no more government mandates and over government regulation and too many government laws. We're getting rid of all those unnecessary things. And so there's nothing more to report because everything's been done and everybody's like free again. I would love to have stories like that. And just, be able to come to you and say, hey, it's another boring day in utopia. That would be utopia, right? You have your freedom. You're capable of interacting with whom you want to interact with on a daily basis without any government interference. You'll be able to go from country to country and talk to people whoever you wanted to and interact with whoever you wanted to without government interference. There was no evil dictators anywhere on the planet because they've all been eliminated. Either they've all been eliminated or they've given up and they said, well, this is not the right way to go. They've had an epiphany and decided, well, they just want everybody to be free. So I would love to be able to report stuff like that because it's another boring day in utopia. The sun is shining again. It's perfect weather conditions again. The morning dew. There's no more rainstorms. There's no more hurricanes and there's no more earthquakes or what have you. The morning dew waters everything. And so we're all it's just boring. Another perfect day. Take me all of 30 seconds. And it's another perfect day in utopia. Have a great day. I'd love to be able to report that. It's not going to happen. Not on my lifetime and not in this era. I just love to be able to say, look, you know what? Because everything is so perfect. This program and Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck and Mark Levin and all the rest, we're out of a job now because everything's perfect. We can't complain about anything. There's nothing to complain about because everything is perfect. Everywhere. The universe is perfect. Well, it's not going to happen. At least not until Christ returns. And then we won't need this program. I'll be at the feet of Christ, worshiping and praising him all day long. But But it is it is what it is. So now you get until then, I guess I will be out there. That's my goal, I guess, until the world is a perfect free utopia. No government interference. You know, just enough government to keep to make society work. Just enough taxes, if you will, to allow society to work as a society. Until that time, you know, we get this utopia. I guess I'm going to be on the air. So, U.S. Pacific Fleet is smaller, even as China's military grows. The U.S. Pacific Fleet is shrinking, even as the U.S. and its allies are facing challenges posed by China's growing military power. Look, I told you about this. And China is trying to move from just having numbers to having numbers with quality. You know, it's one thing to have the world's largest Air Force and world's largest, you know, Army and world's largest Navy and all that kind of stuff. It's one thing to have the most ships in the water. But you start adding quality to those ships because you have the people to be able to staff all those ships. Now you're talking about some trouble. Now, Peter Jennings, not the Peter Jennings that used to do the news, but Peter Jennings, an expert at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute think tank, said that the issue in peacetime is whether there are enough American vessels to reassure friends and allies. Screw the friends and allies. How about just enough American vessels just to protect the American interests, like the American people? The Pacific Fleet currently has 182 vessels, which include combat ships like aircraft carriers, as well as auxiliary and logistic vessels, said spokesman Commander Clay Doss. So that compares to 192 almost 2 decades ago. Now, the Chinese People Liberation Army Navy has more than 300 surface ships, submarines, amphibious ships, and patrol craft, according to the Pentagon's Asia-Pacific Maritime Security Strategy report that was released last August. I told you they were growing. So 182 to 300. And you might think, well, our ships are twice as good as they are. Okay, for now. I know we just that the new ship that is captained by one James Kirk isn't that kind of funny? It really is. The new destroyer. It doesn't look like any ship we've ever seen before, really. That was built and it was floating around in Bath, Maine, you know, the Bath Iron Works over there in Kittery and Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It's going through its shakedown and test runs and all that kind of stuff right now, but I'm not hearing much about it lately. But those kind of ships are not easy to be built, and they're not quick. I mean, they may be really good, but how many of those? I mean, those things are expensive. How many of those can we build? And then with the Army the size that it is, and the Navy the size that it is, the personnel, how many of those ships can we actually fully man? It's not like this is no longer of the day when things were so simplistic. You just cannot park an aircraft carrier and then decide that when you need it, that you can start the thing up in 30 minutes and be under sail. It just can't happen. There is no such thing as the Minuteman anymore. You can't have a modern army ready to go at a minute's notice. It's got to be a standing army. It's got to be a standing army that is well-equipped and well-trained at all times, because you can't just park these things and then expect them to go at a minute's notice. It's not possible. Oh, hey, if we ever get in a real skirmish, we'll just build more and put them on. These things take years to build. It's not like World War II where we can turn out ships left and right. We can build them in a couple of months or something. These things take years. It takes months for them to be refurbished and repaired. You put a modern aircraft carrier into dry dock to fix it. It's out of action for at least 6 months. We can't do this. Hey, but this is the way that they want to go with it. I guess I don't. All this stuff is just unbelievable. So you got the North Koreans out there testing hydrogen bombs. You got the Iranians down there unveiling a missile silo that supposedly we didn't know about before. So you got to wonder, in all that Iranian desert, how many more of these secret bases that they got. You got China with a growing number of surface of military naval vessels at over 300 and growing. I still think that I think at last count they had 3 carriers under construction. That's a threat. So you just gotta wonder you can hate the American people, and that's fine, but do you have to hate them that much that you wish to see them destroyed? In the meantime, we got liberals on this side of the pond, of the great ponds. That would be the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda. They call the Atlantic Ocean the pond, the big pond. So I'm just doubling it and saying, the great ponds, plural, meaning Pacific Ocean. You're going to call the Atlantic Ocean a pond, you might as well call the Pacific Ocean a pond. So meanwhile, on this side of the ponds, you've got a story here out of thecollegefix.com. A public university could punish neck rubs as sexual battery under new policy. So we've got the world, just falling apart, gearing up for war because they hate the United States and the West, and we're worried about whether or not consensual neck rubs are sexual battery or not. I kid you not. East Carolina University. Students who are good at neck rubs could find themselves hauled before a sexual misconduct board under new rules approved by the Board of Trustees. Now, you liberal idiots, you asked for this stuff. You liberal, mamby-pamby, wimpy, liberal college students, you've asked for this stuff. Now, look, I think it's kind of funny because, one of the sexual revolution, all that kind of stuff, sex without any consequences, that's what they all want. Now, all of a sudden, stuff that could lead to sex, not so good anymore, huh? The new policy describes sexual battery as the intentional or attempted sexual touching of another person's clothed or unclothed body, including but not limited to the mouth, neck, buttocks, anus, genitalia, or breast, by another with any part of the body or any object in a sexual manner without their consent. Yeah, I am not going to read that again to you because that was just disgusting. So the school described updates to non-discrimination and Title IX policies in a press release dated back on December 18th. Same day, by the way, as their winter commencement. Though it's labeled ECU News Services, the release is nowhere to be found from the news portal. The school's only apparent public communication of the changes appears to have been 4 days later on Twitter. So, hey, we're going to change the rules, but we're not going to tell you about them. So when you run afoul of the rules, you're going to say, I didn't know. And they're going to say, well, too bad. You should have known. But you couldn't know because they didn't tell. Well, they put it on Twitter. But by the way, Eamon Bundy had his Twitter account suspended. So, he wouldn't have known about it because he had his Twitter account suspended. But so he could go to Eastern Carolina University and give some stressed out female or male, I guess. They're not saying it has to do with either sex. A neck rub. Yeah, it's sexual battery if you give somebody a massage now. Whether they're clothed. I'm going to, if they're unclothed, how would you get to the point where you're unclothed if you didn't want to have your neck rubbed? I'm just logically thinking out loud here. I don't understand it. And I don't understand simply because I guess I'm just not smart enough to understand. I guess I'm just not smart enough to understand, because if I was smart enough, I'd already understand. I wouldn't have to question it, how bad it is for people to. I don't. So if you go to your doctor now, and if the doctor touches you, but you don't want the doctor to touch you, but the doctor has to touch you, but you don't want the doctor to touch you, is the doctor going to be construed as sexual? Or where are we going with this? I mean, I don't. No human contact whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe. Well, kids in grade school, they're not allowed to hug. Remember that? Some they were being chastised for hugging. No hugging. It's like the Emperor's New Groove. No touchy. What? These liberals, they're out of their mind. These people should not have guns because they're mentally ill. Now, frankly, it's a good thing that most liberals don't want to have guns because they are mentally ill. And could you imagine? I mean, some of the most dangerous people on the planet, I guess, are liberals. So maybe we should make liberals a liberal army. They should be able to destroy the enemy with no problem because, they know everything for one, and they've already proven they can be very destructive. When was the last time you saw a bunch of conservatives rampaging and looting and burning and destroying stuff? Yeah. So liberals are very good at, so they know how to do that. So maybe we should, develop a liberal army, the People's Liberal Army, and, kind of like the French Foreign Legion. We could have a domestic liberal legion and unleash them onto the world in places that, we don't want to send our real men and women in the military. Don't want to expose them to that kind of stuff, and just let the domestic liberal legion handle everything in the Middle East, because they obviously know how to do it. They can be destructive when they have to be, or when they want to be. So maybe we should just send them all over there. It's kind of like the Peace Corps, but the Liberal Corps, I guess. Liberal Army Corps. The Liberal Legion. And unleash them. On them. Hey, look, we'd probably take care of the trouble over there inside of a few months. With very little, casualties on our side, really. That would we wouldn't be able to get rid of enough of them, but at least they'd be doing something useful. Hey, folks, are you still wanting to say no to health insurance and not be penalized with a mandated tax under the Affordable Care Act? Yeah, it is a tax. Kind of like Social Security is not an insurance program either. It's a tax. The government wants you to think that you have no choice and that you're going to be punished for not having health insurance, because that's what they said. You're going to get first this fine is going to be small, then next year it's going to be big, and next year it's going to be bigger until it gets to the point where it's just going to be ridiculously big. And if you can't pay it, they'll probably throw you in jail for not having health insurance. Well, basically what the federal government, Obama and his ilk are trying to say, either you pay out or you pay up. That's essentially what's being told to you. You no longer have control over your own minds and your own bodies. The government has complete control over your minds and your bodies now. And you have to, and they want full control of your wallet. So you have to either pay out what they say that you have to pay out, or you're going to have to pay up what they say that you're going to have to pay up. So either way, your wallet is being raped and you're being screwed. Well, there's a great way to say hell no and get away with it. Now, I know the best way to say hell no and get away with it is actually forcing Congress to do their job and repeal this thing. But outside of that, short of that, you can also visit www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com to find out how you can legally say hell no and get away with it. Again, that's www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com to find out how you can legally say hell no without being hellishly punished for saying hell no to the government. By the way, did you know that Germany was stunned over New Year's Eve? Yeah, Germany. Well, I don't know why they're stunned. I don't think I think the government, the German government, Angela Merkel, was probably stunned. New Year's sex assaults stoke German migrant debate. I don't think that they were giving back rubs or neck rubs in Germany on New Year's Eve. I think that's just an American thing. You can probably, hey, there's going to be new industry in Mexico and Canada. There are going to be neck rub vacations. German leaders express shock over dozens of apparently coordinated sexual assaults against women on New Year's Eve in the western city of Colony, blamed on Arab-looking men, but warned against anti-migrant scapegoating. So Arabs are the Muslims are running around. Arab Muslims are running around, raping women. But hey, we don't want any anti-migrant sentiment and scapegoating running around. So Chancellor Angela Merkel called for a thorough investigation of the repugnant attacks, ranging from groping to at least one reported rape, allegedly committed in a large crowd of revelers during year-end festivities outside the city's main train station. And outside the main train station and its famed Gothic cathedral. While they're over there groping and sexually assaulting women in Europe and Germany, here we have and their German leaders are shocked. They're shocked. Here we have a bunch of idiotic liberal House Democrats that have just moved to implement Sharia law, which would be, allow women to be groped and neck rubbed. So the whole thing at Eastern Carolina University would be a moot point if we have Sharia law, because you'd be able to neck rub another a woman without penalty. But the Democratic Party, the Democratic House, members in the House, as we were all celebrating the wonderful holiday called Christmas and Festivus and a few others, the people are actually starting to celebrate Festivus. Thank you, Seinfeld. House Democrats, as their last action of the year, moved to implement America's first Sharia law. The message they send is unmistakable, and this is on toprightnews.com. If Democrats and Hillary Clinton control Washington, D.C., our rights will be stripped from us, and Islam will be given a special status. The Democrats quietly sponsored House Resolution 569, a resolution that asked lawmakers to condemn violence, bigotry, and hateful rhetoric towards Muslims in the United States. The resolution specifically mentions Muslims, no other religious groups, and will serve as a test by which further criminalizing of Islamophobia may be introduced. Are you surprised at all by any of that? I'm not surprised. Well, I guess people could be or should be surprised. I'm not surprised by it. You know, they've been running around talking about how wonderful and peaceful Islam is all this time, and without. You got my big thing. It's got to be like the Stockholm syndrome thing, because you have all these wonderful liberal women that are just embracing Islam, knowing they should know how detrimental Islam is to women. And yet, I guess it's just this Republicans that are having the war on Islam. Doesn't have a war on women. American conservatives do, because they want to take away a woman's abortion rights. They want to take away the woman's right to kill their unborn child. So that's a war on women. But actually killing a woman, stoning her, beating her, raping her, forcing her to cover up from head to toe, no more bikinis. That's not.